Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from or where this video finds you. Welcome back to Rosalo YouTube channel. Here we are about vulnerability, acceptance, and hope. And we are glad that you're still here. Those of us that have been here since we began this YouTube channel, thank you so much. We truly appreciate your patience, even when we are not that consistent, but you're here. Thank you so much. We appreciate those of us that are new subscribers. Karibuni sana. As already we have said, we are about vulnerability, acceptance, and hope. We posted like a month ago in February.
Oh, is that long?
Yeah, during the Valentine's. Yes, Valentine's. That was our last video, but today we decided we'll not go to bed before we do this video. But anyway, in our last video I had really complained. Of course, the discussion, anytime you see us.
You see us.
Basi ongea kizungu. Basi ongea kizungu.
Hey.
English.
Anytime you see us together,
you know we are about ndoa with the Salos, and we are happy. So we are here to talk about marriage. We talk a lot about marriage. We share our opinion, and does not mean it's the perfect opinion, but we get to share our opinion. So the last video we did, I was really complaining how I was not given
about gift.
Si useme basi.
No, I can't comment on complaints.
How we went for a dinner and I was not being given a gift, but yeah, my gift came. My gift came, Casio watch. By the way, I'm available on TikTok. Yes, on TikTok is where we unveiled the gift. Yeah, I'm on TikTok as Rose Salwa. And we are grateful. So, asanteni sana. If you are new here, kindly please subscribe. Journey to 2,000 subscribers. I'm at 10,000.
How far we?
We are 1,015. Thank you.
Let's target by end of April.
Target them, as we can't get there. It's them to take us there.
Yes. We are trusting that we can get to 3,000 by mid-April. Right? Yeah,
please. If this is the kind of content, if marriage is not for you, please, this is not your place. Yeah, we are pro-marriage, we believe in marriage, we trust in marriage. But even if marriage is not for you, by the way, you can still listen in. Maybe you might change your perception or may change your view on the process. But you can tell us on the comment section what we need to talk more about. So on my Facebook the other day, and this is what we are going to discuss, I talked about that let me tell you, I am, there's a lot of stories about marriage out there. Are you happily married? Kwanza tuanzie hapo.
I'm enjoying my marriage. I'm happy.
You are happy? Do you mean that you don't get annoyed?
Do
you get annoyed?
I get annoyed many times. But the times that I am happy are more than the times I am annoyed.
Why have you not left? People marriage. Are saying there's no true love. Love doesn't work. Many things. Marriage is a scam. We've seen spouses butcher.
Why have I not left? Left to where?
No, like real. We have seen in homes or in marriages, you hear that her husband killed the wife and their children, or the wife set the house on fire, or those kind of things. So according to you, what makes people get there?
I think the problem is it's not a love issue. I think the problem is a conflict resolution issue, where people are unable to resolve their conflicts, and therefore they choose means that actually don't resolve the conflict. Because if you kill somebody, you have not solved the conflict, and possibly you will live with that guilt, you will live with that conflict, that burden, whatever may have led that particular individual to burn the house, as you say. by burning the house does not mean that now you have dealt with the issues that are provoking you and leading you to burn the house. So for me, it is an issue of conflict resolution. Are there means that people can solve conflicts without necessarily being berserk, being, doing things like mad men and mad women,
like murder one another?
Yeah, like killing each other. It doesn't solve any conflict. In fact, I think it plunges you into deeper conflict with yourself, but also with the society, with the community around, but also before God. When you kill, it's terrible. It's bad, and judgment then awaits you.
By the way, I also think by the time someone is getting to a point where they don't care, I think labor and giving birth is a lot. The process of carrying a child, getting pregnant, giving birth to one child, 2 children, 3 children, and you set the house on fire when all of you are there inside. I don't know. And then I don't know what makes someone get there. But I think I can guess is because I have not been there myself. I think it's the unresolved conflict and issues within me that have been hurt over and over and over and over again, such that you get to the place of irreconcilable differences. And so you look at the children and maybe you think they are the source of my problems. You look at this man, maybe you look at that man or look at this woman, and you think that you feel, because there are issues of feeling, because I think that some of those people, after that action, they actually get to a point where they regret. Okay? So they get to a point where they regret because now you are in prison. Because you acted out of anger. I also think it's anger. It's actually you have bitterness and forgiveness, and then now when you're pushed to the wall, you react and act out of anger, and then now that takes you to other places. So what would you tell someone who is in a marriage that what are the traits that would take you? Because I don't think anybody wakes up. I'm asking this because I don't think anybody wakes up and decides to get married to break the marriage. But things go somehow that makes that person decide to walk away from that marriage. So what makes people first walk away from marriage? And then now after that we will go into what makes someone get to the point of walking away from marriage, but they don't walk away from marriage. They decide to finish themselves. They kill themselves.
Well, maybe there is no specific answer to that question. My thoughts would be, number one, like you said, unresolved conflict, and that conflict unresolved may be actually internal, because you see, issues to do with the conflict resolution, it must be first of all an individual decision to resolve that conflict. So that as an individual, I want to ensure that every conflict that is around me and involves me, I play my part to resolve it. So there is the individual aspect, but then there is also the second level, the willingness of the parties involved to actually sit and have a conversation and resolve their conflict. I don't think there is anything that cannot be resolved. So even the very idea of an irreconcilable differences is actually a symptom of the lack or the inability to resolve conflict. And then and maybe that is what we needs to be dealt with. This thing, unreconcilable differences, is only a symptom. The real issue is, do you have the capacity, the ability to resolve conflicts? And I think there are two things that I can think of quickly. Number one, at the root of it is pride, that I have actually offended my partner. Pride is the only reason why I would not be willing to actually sit down and admit that actually I did wrong. Number two, also, unforgiveness, the unwillingness to let go. Even after I have asked for forgiveness, is this person at a place where they can actually be able to say, it really hurts, probably it still hurts, but I am making a deliberate choice to let it go. Does not mean that the pain will go immediately, but to a large extent, when we forgive one another, that pain lives to a great measure as we continue now to build on trust and reconcile ourselves to each other. Maybe if there were things that we were doing that were bringing friction in between us, I stopped doing, or the other party also stops doing, then we begin to heal. But to me, the two things that would make conflict resolution a challenge to most couples is, number one, pride. Number two, unforgiveness. And unforgiveness could stem from bitterness, could stem from anger, it could also be a product of just pride. You feel like you want to hold the other person a hostage because you want them to be your prisoner. But the truth is that then you become a prisoner to yourself.
Let me ask on the part of pride, and maybe you could make it more practical. What do you do with a partner who, yes, I am not, I don't want to go and say sorry, but there are also husbands or wives that we are married, you have offended me, or yes, you have offended me. So if you offend me as a wife, then I keep quiet and I get annoyed. But you feel like as a man, you cannot apologize, or you don't see, not even as a man, as an individual, you don't see why I am annoyed. According to you, I should not be annoyed. For example, let me just say I saw a text message on your phone, for example, and it did not go well with me. And you don't see, maybe it was a text message of congratulations, I'm proud of you, from your boss, where you work, who is female, and I am insecure about it. So I am annoyed, and you don't see the reason why I should be annoyed. So, and I am annoyed because I was offended by what I saw. So how do I deal with you who, one, you do not see the reason why I should be annoyed, or number two also, that for you it's a non-issue. And so you decide, I will not address it. For me, it's a non-issue. You are the one with a problem. In fact, you could also take it a step further and think, so you are suspecting me to be cheating. Of course, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm just saying I was uncomfortable with that message. I didn't say you are cheating. But according to you, I do not deserve, or I should not be annoyed because of that text message. Yes, so who should apologize to who? Because I am annoyed because of a message I saw. And according to you, you also get annoyed because you feel
annoyed.
No, you get annoyed because you feel like I don't trust you.
I think that the issue here is information. The fact that the information I have and the information you have probably is not the same. That is why, for you, the discomfort with that message, I don't understand that information as valid or enough reason for you to be annoyed. So there is an information gap. And to bridge that gap, I think it is for both of us to sit and address and actually clarify issues. Number one, if there is really no reason, from my perspective, no reason why you should be annoyed because of this text that has come from somebody else, I need to explain myself. This is the level of our relationship. This is the context that this message was sent, so that I am giving you a context, my context, why I am seeing these things the way I'm seeing. But also I should be willing to get to a place where I also allow you to give me your context. And the context might be, like you said, maybe your internal insecurities. And therefore, if we get that context, then the real issue here is, so that we help one another come to the same ground, we deal with the insecurities that are there. Because today it might be this message, tomorrow it might be something else. And since we live in a community, in a society, and sometimes you may not necessarily control the information that comes from outside, it is important that we are on the same page as far as information flow is concerned. So again, it's about the willingness, the openness to hear one another. And I think part of the problem, part of the challenge as far as even just having conversation, we come to the conversation table to prove a point. And even when we talk, we most often, we talk to prove that we are right. And when we listen to the conversation, we don't listen to understand, we listen to respond. And then also there is a gap, because you would want to hear what you want to hear, and there is always a competition in one's mind. What must I say after he or she says this? And therefore you might actually miss out on exactly what this person is saying, and therefore even your response might be off and can spoil the whole conversation. So for me, I think we need to be open. When I am listening to you, I need to try and understand it from your perspective. And also when I am responding, you also need to be able to allow yourself to try and be in my context, so that you understand it from my perspective, and then we can actually arrive at a middle ground. Now I see where you're coming from. Now I see why you are upset with this. And so what is the balance here? At a point of equilibrium where none of us is...
reduce selfishness.
Yes, and that is pride.
Reduce selfishness. And at the beginning, of course, we said that we are happily married. And being happily married does not mean that everything is going on well, like we do not conflict. No, we conflict quite a lot. And we fight quite a lot. But I think one of the things I have learned in this marriage is that resolve every conflict as much as possible. Like, do not allow a conflict to... because you will conflict. As long as you are together, you will conflict. If two axes are put together in the same basket, or is it basket, they will hit against each other. And so that is, it's normal that we will always be in conflict with one another. But it is important that then we express ourselves freely. And I think the challenge comes because some of us are quick to express ourselves. And every partner, you'll find in a marriage that there's a partner who speaks more than the other, or who is more expressive than the other. So in your context, it is also important that you realize that it doesn't make you a lesser man, or it doesn't make you a lesser woman if you ask your partner, can we sit down and talk about this matter? Because if you don't, then it might escalate to something else. But also there are times when you actually feel so hurt, and because different people react differently. There are people that are action oriented. There are people, when they are very annoyed, they keep quiet. There are people that when they are very annoyed, they blow things, they beat things, they do what. It is also good to ask God and to be self-aware. What is it that I can do? And so that you are in control, so that you also don't end up hurting each other. Otherwise, marriage is a beautiful thing. And those differences between couples, between husband and wife, is what makes a marriage beautiful. I'm telling you, me and Salo are very different. We think differently, we do our things differently, we process things. Even when we are annoyed, our conflict resolution is quite different. And then now, that would take us to conflict resolutions methods. Like different couples would apply different conflict resolution methods when they are annoyed at each other. When something happens, there are those couples that it will work best for them. And this one does not work for everybody. I have seen the message, I am very annoyed, or he has said something, I am very annoyed, or we are talking about finance or something, whatever conflict is. There are those that are okay to sit down and talk about it in the house. There are those who would actually keep quiet, and because they understand each other. So it's good also to understand each other, to know the weaknesses of the other person and the strengths of the other person. There are those that will keep quiet. Let's address this matter tomorrow, because the way I am feeling deep inside me, and you know, when you speak words, they cannot be taken back. What I am feeling right now, I don't want to say things that might injure you. So we keep quiet. Another method would be you keep quiet, wait, and then tomorrow go to a place, sit down, talk. There are those that anyway, what works for you as a conflict resolution method, try and do it. But ensure you don't go beyond 24 hours. 24 hours it's a long time. And if you have children, they just get into your conflict without knowing, because now that's a long time. You're not talking to each other, and it will affect your family. So please be sure that conflict will always be there in marriage. We don't need to finish each other. We don't need to kill each other. We don't need to do what? Insult each other. But also, I think one of the greatest determinants in a marriage when it comes to conflict resolution is what is in your heart. Who is in charge of your heart? So here is where we talk about God. Is where we talk about Jesus. Because the Holy Spirit in your heart, no matter how annoyed you are, the Bible says, in your anger, do not sin. God has a way of calming your heart. Because if you are born again, or if you have God within you, and if you have God, if you have Jesus within you, you are able to say, Jesus, what I am about to do right now. And that is also a factor. So as a Christian couple, also depend on the Holy Spirit to help you to understand this other person. That says, closing remarks, my omohondu. Omondu. Omondu.
You want to start a conflict. There is a song that says, take it to the Lord in prayer. And I think when you are in conflict and Jesus is at the center of your life, he's in control.
Trials and temptation.
Is there trouble anywhere?
You should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Singing is not our thing, but that is the song, that is the hymn.
I'm telling you. Take it to Jesus. Jesus has the ability to solve every dilemma that any human goes through. So as a couple, if you're faced with challenge, pray with one another. If you're really conflicted with each other, try and pray together. But also, you can allow very reliable and people that you have confidence in to actually pray with you and facilitate a conversation. It is possible. It can be done. We don't need to kill each other. We don't need to walk away from one another. Jesus is in control.
Thank you so much for watching this video to that far. We truly appreciate. Please interact with us on the comment section below. Let us know what more discussions we need to have. And again, we said this is our opinion as Rose Salwa YouTube channel. And until next time, see you. And God bless you. May the Lord bless you and keep your marriage. Again, here we are about
vulnerability, acceptance, and hope. God bless you. Bye-bye.